Josh Snow back looking at Kentucky versus Tennessee this week. Okay, so whoever I've said this before, whoever is in charge in the offseason of changing Tennessee's pass game, good on you. They've come so far. They're attacking coverages. They're running the floods. Protection has changed. We'll talk a lot about Trap Pro, my favorite protection. This video shows up a lot. I think their run game still needs a little bit of work. I think it's the equivalent because everything is so vertical and so mannish. It's the equivalent of a pitcher not having a fastball, right? It's just all off speed. It's all vertical. A 4-eye is not scared to be a 4-eye and play in a tackle. Same thing I talked about with the Georgia game. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes alive, right? The running game's kind of stifled, but the passing game is so good, right? So this is about 20, how many clips we got? 30 clips, 29 clips of different runs, different passes, just different coaching points going on. So first play or first clip I have, right? We got counter going right. I assume this is counter in the huddle, and then based off the front, they're end up pulling the tackle kick, right? Because it's easier to pull the tackle and then go out in the guard than to cut off and pull the guard. So nice little adjustment there, easy 3-down adjustment. The issues have become here on the play side. Now I get this guy is a freshman, right? But if a 4-eye or a 3 or anything loops out on the counter scheme, your play side tackle can now just climb straight vertical and take the first backer in the box, right? Because we have somebody to kick out. So we'll kick out the 4, the 3-eye, or the 3 looping, whatever that guy is. And now you can pull up and lead on this fold backer. Okay, it should be a really nice play. Right, we see 70 get a little bit confused, right? Young kid. He ends up taking it back out. Ends up being a little bit of a cluster play side. The second issue is just this combo, this ace. Even though this backer is so kicked back, like pre-snap's great leverage, it's just a really, really hard combo to get back there and climb. At UNC, we were about 15 or 18% of actually getting this combo to the second backer. It's just tough angles, especially when the nose slants. Okay, if the nose slants, getting the center off of it. Now he hangs way too much. You should be able to get this block, okay, based off pre-snap location. That's just the way they combo. They stick really hard on first levels. Okay, I don't like how they do a lot of their stuff. This should be a much easier climb and seal. This guy ends up beating him all the way across the face. But just kind of a how they teach this stuff. They're really vertical, really, really thick on the first level. End up not getting a lot of lateral movement ever. And then they sometimes don't get to backers because of it. Right, so there's a couple different issues that pop up. I put this on here mostly for the protection, which I'll show. This concept pops up quite a bit. I'm not quite sure if they're reading it with the slot. So at Mississippi State, they hit the big pylon route. They've hit the big curl by the slot a lot. I don't know if they're reading the slot route, right? On these like mirrored routes on the outside, they can run double outs. Here they're running double curls, right? So I don't know if the quarterback's looking 1 and then picking a side for 2. Right, so something just kind of keep your eye on as you watch it. I've seen them both do both too. Either they're calling it or they're reading it, and they're mirroring the routes on the outside. Here we have double curls from tight alignments. We're going to show the corner. Okay, then run right back down our stem, catching the ball, perfect landmark. In college, for a curl route is halfway between the hash the numbers. Absolutely perfect landmarks there. And we're getting our flat routes out. In protection, I want to show this. So this is my favorite protection in the world, Trap Pro. Okay, I like the way they are utilizing the backside tight end as well. So tight end has any sort of exterior pressure, he's got it. If no exterior pressure, then he's going to end up chipping or helping on the 5-tech, where the defensive end is, and then running a flat route. Okay, so it helps you like in 3-down NCAA. 87 would be involved in that. Okay, it helps you on other exterior pressures. It also helps you, because a big issue in this protection is like a jet player here. Okay, with the center going back. So it allows 53 now to be a little bit more involved here and then come back out late. So a late hinge out to the defensive end, knowing 87 will be there, and then get out. Right, so it kind of firms up the backside protection a lot. Front side's the same, right? Running back's fitting off the pooler. The pooler is going to block the first thing outside the tackle, and then you would have the second thing. Could be interior, could be exterior. You're fitting off that guy, and you have any sort of second guy out there. Nothing comes, you have a flat route. Okay, these guys are the best at running it and then getting all 5 eligibles out in double flats. So a really nice job there. A beautiful post crosser here, right? Maybe these guys are watching the channel. These guys have just almost completely got rid of DC. I think they ran it once or twice this game, but they're running a piss load of post crosser. Okay, so here are some really nice landmarks. Looking down here, you want him to widen a little bit because in perfect world, a post route is caught about 40 yards on the near hash. He ends up catching on the far hash because he doesn't widen. The danger of that is you don't know what's happening backside of the play, like if a safety steals it or something. A really nice crosser route, a really, really nice relationship between the flat runner and the crosser. Okay, you want the flat runner just a little bit in front of the crosser, right, to get like a horizontal and a vertical. Okay, so really nice look there. I talked about this in the past a million times, right? I never liked this concept though of my running back being in protection and being the flat guy. Because if they brought any sort of pressure, you're losing your flat component here. Okay, so not what I want to do. And I assume there's supposed to be a dig on the backside. Okay, they just completely bust the coverage, so he says, fuck it. I'll take it vertical. Okay, but a beautiful throw. Really hard to read by the quarterback to see this post safety driving the crosser. Okay, throws in beautiful anticipation, though. This guy's playing some really good football. Should be really sound in this protection, right? So Trap Pro, you should be great in this part of the pocket. Where you have exterior issues to the play side. You could have exterior backside depending on how you're tagging it and stuff. But this part of Trap Pro should be great. The center just gets lazy. Right, but that should be an easy rep. Okay, you can see what we're doing on the backside to really secure the 4-eye. If you're having issues in Trap Pro with the 4-eye, and you don't want to pull the center for whatever reason, maybe it's a personnel thing. Okay, look into this backside tag. So 87 can be really, really firm with no exterior pressure, help out, and then get out late to the flats. Or you can completely keep them in. That's another option as well. Right, the defense gets paid too. This is just a bitch on the offense. So any sort of interior pressure on the backside of gap schemes, right, it's not fun, especially if he times it up really well like this. So what should be happening here, right, they make it even harder because the nose doesn't cross face. So the center's occupied on the back block. He's done. Right, your B-gap hinge portion, so they're running counter. Your B-gap hinge has to take it. He'll never get there with shuffle footwork like he's taking here. It's almost he just has to run and cut that. Right, but that is asking a lot. Good job, defense. Right, they get paid a lot of money on that side of the ball too. They'll get you. Okay, but just a really nice look there at a good defensive stopper call if you're getting gashed on gap schemes. This is third down. Okay, an overload protection, something we would call like an amigos call, like 3 amigos. We got 3 bigs over here. So essentially, the slide has to go this way. We're kicking here, and these look like 2 littles. I don't know Kentucky personnel, but these definitely are 2 smaller guys. So now, in game planning all week, you get to determine who's the running back taking. It's essentially a 5 call at this point, right? Guard will take one of these 2. Based off how they look, he looks bigger, right? So you'd assume 72 is there. 18 takes all of number 7. A little bit of confusion here, right? They both go to the same guy, and that generates a very easy sack for the defense. Really nice twist pass off, though, right? Because defensively, we understand what's going to happen here. They're going to 5 it or slide it. It's going to end up being the same. The man side's going to be this way, right? So let's pick it and get 2 beaters, right? We'll get a 1-on-1 with the back, and then we'll make them pass off a man-style twist over here. But it ends up being a really nice rep by the center of snapping it out. Shitty rep on defense over here, but they win the down here. So here's that same type of doubles, what I'm calling when they just mirror the routes on the outside, okay, and here the slot hooks it up, right? So they're reading it. I would probably guess they are reading it to run a pylon or a deep curl. And I would think he's the first read, and then you go out to your second read, but that's just kind of guessing. Also looking at the protection here. So 2 issues happen. One should not be an issue, and one is absolutely an issue with this scheme. So let's talk about the first thing. Okay, the issue of this scheme is just 2 outside. So any type of full slide. Any type of full slide, the issue is going to be them overloading where the slide is going away from. Right, so this to me is full slide, or we're pulling the guard. Okay, but it's the same principles. So there's 2 guys outside the tackle. Running back has to take one of them. What the issue is both those guys are now bigs. right? So now you got a running back on a big guy. So either 70 has to slow down and collect this, which I don't like doing because then you give up like interior twist that shouldn't be an issue. Okay, or you just say, hey, they got our scheme here. Now, defensively, they're kind of fucked in any sort of like run game, right? They got two in the same gap. If it was any sort of like gap scheme away, it's a gash. Okay, but it ends up being a good call for him here, right? That 92 or whoever that is, that defensive end is just so late off the ball. They got two in the gap, so good on the defense. This should not be an issue. The nose tackle leaking through, right? We have to have pace. We can't be shuffling down. See his footwork, he's shuffling down as a guard. We have to go, right? You have help behind you. Do not get beat away from your help. We know Semi's coming with us, right? We can have speed down. If that guy wants to loop into the B gap, let him loop. Okay, but we cannot get beat away from our help here. Okay, we see we have 4 eyes not beating us backside. We have a freaking triple team on him. Okay, we got our double flats out and get a positive play because of it. Post crosser ends up being to be a vert crosser, right? Great play. Put your best guy here. Give him a storm route, any sort of double move. Give him a vertical. Give him any sort of solo route. And then bring the crosser, dig concept to him. Okay, this is their best guy. This guy's one of the better receivers in the country. Let him just go work one-on-one. Take our shots. And if they end up putting 2 guys over here, right, or he ends up covering the share of it, you got that crosser coming right back to it. Once again, beautiful spacing between the flat runner and the crosser. Perfect world, a crosser is vertical. It's about the goalpost, near goalpost. Okay, about 12-ish yards. It's probably drawn poorly. 17-ish yards on the hash, right? Somewhere 15 to 20 yards on the hash. And running out of bounds at 25 yards. Okay, that's shitty drawn. So he's at 18 yards on the hash. Perfect. I need a little bit more speed, though. A little bit more speed, and then we can stair step it later. I need you to get a little bit more in this window as a receiver, but pretty good spacing, great throw, great catch. Good pro. Good-ish pro, right? So here you see exterior pressure on trap pro. Right, so now 3 has all 14. He has any sort of exterior out there. Knowing that if a 9 stays a 9, you probably don't have help. So we're expecting 53 to help on any sort of exterior or like C gap-ish rush. But if this guy beats in the D gap, you better pray that... Now, 53 makes a great play here. But I'm not expecting a high school tackle to kick all the way that far deep and pick this thing off. Right, 3, know where your help is. We can kick this thing a little bit wider, invite him in, knowing we got 53 coming with us. Okay, but stupid good throw and catch there. It's actually pretty nice. I've not been a huge fan of this play in the past just because it puts some not so great blockers at the point of attack, right? I think it's kind of like a little bit overhyped, right? It's like 5.3 yards a play or something, like the crack screen stuff. But this is pretty nice against man. Now, how you want to ID it's a little bit difficult. So in a perfect world, you're going to crack the 2 man guys on the 2 backs here. Now, that's receiver. I'm going to call them the 2 backs. And then make the safety and the corner both crack replace, right? And then your looper would take the most dangerous of those 2. And they kind of I don't know how they're actually doing it here. Maybe they're just leaving the corner for sure. Yeah, so they're going to crack the Mike backer, crack the safety, loop for, whoever has that back, and then leave the corner, which is a fine way to do it. If you got a great player, put him back there, give him the ball in space. Easy throw for a bad quarterback. If you have a bad quarterback and your passing game struggling, this is like a super easy throw to get the ball in space. In high school, I think this would be a pretty successful play. You're getting the ball one-on-one with a corner, hopefully. A lot of times, we like our matchups there. O-line doesn't have to protect all that world. And this is just god-awful defense as much as anything. Like, look at... We have a misalignment here, right? We have 900 people in the D-gap to our left. This is cutoff zone. Yeah, thank you. Right, we have the old Congo line, right? So I wonder if there's pressure coming this way. I always really like inside zone away from pressure because it ends up just getting all wash. Right, it's going to cut right off the hash, hopefully. Perfect. Now what I don't like is 75 here. Okay, this is what I call a rewind combo. right? So we're pointing, we're fan, da 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 da, and really nice job by 3 here. So 75 is in combo with the center start, I assume there. When the nose goes away, 75 then rewinds, he slows down and brings his combo back to this guy becoming a 3. The reason I don't like that is I want lateral movement, okay? So I don't want this, what you'll call him, 4-eye, who's slanting. I want to just wash this guy 900 yards out of bounds to the right here. I don't want 75 and then to stop the slant. And he ends up still getting washed, but I guarantee you if you don't do this, 53 is taking him out of bounds this way. Right, so don't stop the slant. Let the slant happen on these plays. Get lateral movement and just hit it right up the hash anyways. Would be the goal. So this is a great goal line play. There's a couple of different ways of doing it. Essentially, you're running, however you want, like a version of counter to where you're building a wall. Oh, like a Frenchman. You're building a wall right there. You're kicking out with one of these backs, right? One of these big guys back here, and then you're leading up the second guy. So 2 ways to do it. You can do it like they're doing here and run outside zone to it, and the end man just knows to leave one. Okay, so now everybody's sealing or reaching their gap, right? There's no IDs, just kind of a shit show. You reach your gap, leave one, we're going to kick them out and pull up. Okay, great way to do it. They're doing that here. Or Ole Miss does it the other way. Okay, they score against OU. Same idea, though. You're running inside zone away from it. Okay, so you're just kind of down blocking, same thing. You're building the wall, your kick out. This is very counter-ish at this point, right? And you're leading up through. So 2 great ways to do it. I like this because you can go either way very easily. You can check it easily, all that sort of thing. Ole Miss did it with 2 defensive linemen back here, right? You're just mashing the first thing outside the wall, basically. Right, so 2 ways of doing the same thing. You're accomplishing the same thing, though. You can run outside zone to it like here, or you can run inside zone away. Great short yardage play. Would definitely recommend installing it. So, all right, so 4 down. We have a clean 5 box, or yeah, we have a clean 4 box, really. Right, so what the defense has to do to get numbers back, they have to chop the front. All right, we have to cancel gaps. We have to stunt all that stuff. This, to me, I don't know that this is for sure a torch stunt. We're reading the center. It could just be a call TT. This just brings up, if you run torch stunts, okay, where you're reading the center, you're picking that guy, or you know how to beat it, please contact me on Twitter. I think this is my biggest nightmare. Wake Forest was really, really good at this in 21 we played them. The defense sucked, but they were very good at this. They were in double twos. They'd read the center. They'd torch it. Luckily for us, they only did it in 1 high. So we were able to control a little bit of the, like, we could double call things. If it's 1 high, we're going to throw it. 2 high, we're going to run it. So we didn't have to deal with it that much. But if you know how to beat it, you know what the weaknesses are of the torch stunt, please contact me because it is a bitch on the offense. A well-executed TT is very hard to defeat. Great job by the quarterback. I don't know how he gets there so fast. Okay, so this is post-crosser down here again. Okay, just maybe double move crosser, whatever you want to call it. Trap pro, protected really nicely. He gets back to the dig in such great timing here, right? This guy's playing great football. Right, it's pretty easy to eliminate this side early, so you just gonna go crosser or dig. Boom, boom. We don't like the crosser. We're going straight to the dig on the hash. Okay, so once again, really, really good landmarks, good protection. Same thing, I'm like back Tennessee wise. I think they're only running this when these guys are on the same side, the YT relationship. So it'll be interesting to see if they start getting beat on this a little bit. But this is such an easy protection, man. If you got a bad offensive line, you'd be really secure here. You're chipping. You just kind of have to decide what's the bigger issue. Is the backside protection where you want to chip? Can't allow everybody to be a little bit firmer. Or do you want to chip? I prefer to chip where you're pulling to. Right, so you're going to chip that guy and then get him out. Right, and then obviously the flat would have to come across somehow. So just what's the bigger issue this week, right? If they're jet players, you want to chip where the guard is pulling to. If they're going to squeeze, then you can keep your chipper on the backside of the protection. Okay, but really nice pocket there. So here, okay, they're running the double outs, right? Once again, they're probably reading this for the pylon or curl. I put this on here because they're essentially just flipping the running back and the tight end's responsibility on trap pro, right? So we're going down this way, we're pulling, we have to kick out this way. And now he is fitting like the back. So he's fitting off the puller, has the second thing outside, and he has a flat, and now he has exterior. The running back has exterior weak. So my worst nightmare in the state of Texas is this like KD 3-4 defense, right, where they bring a lot of NCAA. The issue is they don't cross face with the 4, right? So they end up overloading you backside. So this protection without a tight end would not work. Here, these guys are doing what they're told, and the 4 3 eyes crossing center's face, so it is an easier NCAA pickup, right? Right tackle kick C gap. The center coming across will let 95 go, and he'll have 22, and the guard will end up having 95 crossing face. So 56 can let that go even a little bit faster. He needs to recognize that, kick out into his gap. He'll pick up 22. Semi does his job, and our guard is going to have this 4 looping all the way back across. The issue in Texas high school football is 95 doesn't cross the center's face. He kind of just jets, right? So the center is used there. 70 is used on the C-gap player, and then 22 would be free if you did not have any sort of backside presence there. This is the issue, right? In Jet Pro, one of the issues I should say is the guy you're pulling to just jetting up the field. That's why I like, and I'll talk about, is chipping the guy you're pulling to, right? Obviously slows him down, gets him to squeeze, makes that block substantially easier. We'll have a Trap Pro video coming out on Wednesday for the 100 people that care. Same thing, right? So we got 5 box. What do we expect the defense to do, right? They have to chop the front to get the numbers back. Day 1 install, okay, it's a TE away from the back against his own teams, okay? It's a bitch as well. It's just so vertical. I mean, they're not using angles. They're not using any sort of influence. I mean, we are just quite literally getting choked out here. I bet the guy at the Bengals, Scott Pierce, would love this, right? Rolling our hips. Okay, that's why the Bengals are getting hit in the backfield on the average run. Okay, I've never seen that in my life. Through 7 weeks, right? Negative 0.2 yards a carry before contact, and this is why they're doing stuff like this. Brutal. Yeah, but this is, I don't care how you technique it, a TE to the front side of zone is good luck. Oh, excuse me. That's how fired up I got. All crows concept. Okay, so not what you want. This is 3rd and I think like 6 or 7. So true blue all crows, not what you want against man free. Okay, but they end up executing it pretty well and converting. Good curl route. Nothing really here to see. Just want to highlight some good route running, pushing them off at the top. Okay, getting your back out. All those things. I think this is pretty simple. Yeah, 4 down. We get the loop. Okay, it just takes 69 years. I don't really care about like late, especially guys wearing number 60. I don't really care about those guys looping out. These guys have no pass rush juice at all. Kentucky. So this to me is kind of like a wasted play. Okay, so they're running dart, 5-man dart into a 6-man box. Pretty easy to see. Right, this needs to be some sort of check. Right, we cannot run dart this way. Very obvious single high coverage. Right, he's coming in the box. They end up 3-2ing it, so they're thinking, right, we're gonna get this combo here, and we're gonna pull for this first backer in the box. Ends up being 2 guys to vice the puller. Totally see what he sees. He sees 12 on the pressure. He takes it. Now we got unblocked on the line of scrimmage. Same thing here, though. I don't like the rewind by 75 to slow down. I'd much rather take 90, okay, and wash him, let him cut the play off on gap schemes or even inside zone. Right, let him cut it, put him over here, right, and then you climb fast for your backer. Wasted call on the offense. Okay, it'll happen though. Even if you're not like a true double call system, they'll get you. This is a shame. So here's my favorite, right? The one they keep butchering that should be so good. Okay, I assume this is some sort of choice, or maybe it's a called. Usually they do it with choice, but it could just be a called, whatever you want to call that concept. Okay, corner flat. And we have dagger down here. Okay, 1 high run, basically just as fast as you can straight down the hash. 2 high run the crosser. Okay, and then run our dig. we're working our check release. So, as I said a million times, cover 2, what do we want? We want to stress the hook curl guy, right? So we want to put something, especially in Tampa. We're going to drain him out, okay, which we'll see here. So we want to put something on the hook curl guy. We have something in the curl, okay, our back, because he's check releasing. I like his landmark there. But we need this damn dig to be here. The issue is in cover 2, and their split is so wide, you have to be inside that. Now we're stacking the zone. We got 2 guys in the curl out here, right? We're not stressing this guy at all. We need something on the inside of him. Right, a hook curl, we need a hook and we need a curl. Bad split, you'll never get there from here. Bad release, we're going outside of a cover 2 guy. Right, just like bad ball knowledge of what we're trying to do in Tampa or in cover 2 is stress this guy. Oof. Boy, these guys are bad on defense. Same play. Okay, we see the difference here though on the route and turns it into like a true over route and 1 high. So 2 high, just run your pylon, or I'm sorry, just run a seam, whatever you want to call that route, and 1 high, run however you teach a normal over. Because a QB, however you're reading it, right, is reading this side 1 to 2, and any sort of 1 high non-cover 2 defense. As soon as it becomes cover 2, we're clearing out. We want to put 2 guys on the hook curl guy, right, and read that guy. I talked about that play like a million times. I think I have a whole video on it. Okay, just running a dig route to the field from this alignment. It's just brutal. He'll never get inside. This guy's not an idiot. He's, what, 3 yards inside of you, as he should be? Not fun. See if they do anything fun pass rush. No, they do not. This is great play. I love this play. I wish there's a way to read it. So we have essentially flood to the boundary. Okay, against zone, we love it. They're running the pylon with number 1. I would love it. I don't know how to do this. This is me living in fantasy's land. Because imagine one's on a post here as a touchdown. Could he ever read it? Could number 1 read it for a post or pylon? Question. Don't know. I hope so. I'd love to try it with some JVB team and see how it works. Because we're creating a really nice flood here, right? We've got something in the flat. We have something running out of bounds at 20 and 25 yards. We have something to the deep pylon here. Okay, like one of my favorite concepts is this right here. We would just love in quarters. Could he read quarters around the post? Right, because there's nothing else behind that. Is it as simple as you run a pylon less quarters, or quarterback can signal it pre-snap if he sees it, something like that. Because basically, I want number 1 to run a pylon and everything but cover 4. But a really nice look. How deep is he? Well, they're on the 37, so 20, it's 17. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, he's running about to 25 yards. It's good spacing. It's a really nice route. How far does he sell it? Did he touch the hash? He touched about the divider. Okay, really good look. FIB, flood pylon concept. And then maybe, if it's true man free, you just put your best receiver down here and you run DC. Right? So there's a million ways to attack it. Just kind of spitballing here. Would love to read the pylon route up top. This is just a tough run, like insert zone versus a 4-eye front. Yeah, you just see kind of the issues developing. There's just not movement. Center doesn't leave on the combo any room for the guard to fit in. Ends up just making a mash fest. 53 short. Unless there's like trying to combo these two for those two, which would be pretty freaking sick. The tight end and tackle for 90 and 9. Like you can rim them out like this and hit in there. It'd be tough. It'd be really hard to practice against a scout team, but interesting thought. The trap pro roll continues. So here's true DC, boys. It's back. I think this is the only rep I remember seeing them run. True blue DC. My guy's better than yours. Go beat him. Okay, beautiful. Like I said, I prefer this with a crosser going behind it for something to scan back into, but it's the same type of concept. I think you can run DC just like he is and have him run the crosser, right? We're giving our best guy a one-on-one shot to win. If he doesn't win, especially with the width. I'm hitting the crosser in like this window anyways and not a true flat component, a true flat route. Okay, I think there's plenty of room here to run true DC with my best guy and then still run this concept down here. Something just to scan back into. Okay, but Trap Pro again, beautiful pocket for the 900th time. These guys are doing it. Absolutely love Trap Pro. Same thing, full slide, right? Any sort of interior games, any sort of interior pressures, right? We should be really, really sound there and just understand our weakness is to wherever the tight end is not going to be. Right, so here we're really solid backside. We're weak now if this guy just wants to jet or whatever. Really easy world against odd front. Okay, even like the 404 world because he's looping. That is of no concern to me for a guard. Whereas more like a true 5 Micah Parsons up the field guy. Odd front, love this protection. Wasted play here. So in 2020 Green Bay, Packers with Rodgers, I think it's 2020. Whatever year he had a couple ludicrous seasons, but that was the one that sticks out. Their goal line package was the best I've seen. It's basically all 12P inside zone variations and just different two-man beaters, right? So they would have the corner slant versus man. They would have the zone beaters. They would have whatever beaters. And then if that was not the coverage the defense presented, it ends up being just checked back in the inside zone, right? It was so efficient. It was so easy. It was really multiple in the inside zone, right? Spluffs, the splits, all that kind of thing. They're really trying to attack defenses, right? So this is very much a man beater over here. So in that world, this would be off, right? We'd just be handing the ball for inside zone and call our next beater. Maybe we timed up there, right? Because this is a completely wasted play. You're running right into people, right? You're running slant corner into, 3v2 situation. This should be checked into a run or into a different pass at least. Well, I'd like to go get that film I had again because I had quite the teach tape of like all the different two-man combinations they had just to attack every single goal line coverage. And if it gets wrong and that coverage wasn't there, then they hand the ball off and got 3 yards or whatever. But they never just wasted plays like this was right here. Here's a little outside zone. And they did it, man. They didn't just go base outside zone. They went full niche beater outside zone. So I assume, I'll show you once. Actually blocked really, really well, sorted really, really well. So I assume they're like box identing this. So we're going here. The center somehow reaches this. So like here, cut off. Now he has support. So he has the first thing. We're going to build the wall here. Okay, great thought. We're going to build the wall, and then you have the first thing outside. I don't know if they know pressure's coming, but how they get the center in a front side combo on a 3 with a shade is not something I'd recommend. Okay, I hate the way they're doing it. There's like, if you watch Mississippi State, they are brutal running outside zone. They're like this. It's like pass setting, where they're skipping. UT's the same way. I've ridden on UT's run game enough. They're losing so much ground. Ends up working out here because they get a slant. But on most downs, we're just trying to run through, right? So you put the 3 on the guard by himself. That combo stays, right? And he'd be penetrating through. We're running straight lines. We're not doing these big loops out. Works out really, really well here, right? Because of the slant. This is not the way I'd want to block it. 53 somehow ends up all the way back on number 3. Okay, they kick out with 87 coming across. They're just not very good at this play. Mississippi State's worse. Okay, so post crosser again. Okay, we just have a bust down here, I would imagine. Good protection again. Okay, right. That's just the hardest block in a 4 down. I would love, right, clean 4 down. Much rather have the tight end here to chip it. Crosser's way short. Right, I need you at least 17 yards on the hash. Okay, I need you 20 yards in the divide. Right, so go over that, elevate. Okay, and you'd be eating up here. That's okay. So the ball should be going to a backside dig against cover 2 anyways. Same thing. We're just so wide. It's taking so long to get there. I'd much rather him go inside. Right, because I need you in the hook area. I'm getting my curl out, quote unquote, my curl flat. I'm getting my curl out with the tight end. Okay, because of how long he takes, he ends up being in the curl, even though he's running a flat. But I need you. Nope. I need you in here. I need you in the hook, however you define that. Okay, so they just need to clean up a little bit of their stuff. One more look at the protection. Easy world guard. Keep coming with it. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. That's your gap. Good job. DC-ish. I think this is DC. Yeah. Or forwards, whatever you want to freaking call it. Same play. Right? Comes back, just runs right by the middle of the field player. I'm sorry, the seam player. Yeah, easy. Easy peasy life there. The post player is maybe this is that Brazil, maybe? Have you seen Brazil? I can't say his name. Maybe the quarterback influences the post player pretty good. Yeah, he does a nice little job there with his eyes. Okay, the post player is essentially playing a half field there now to the boundary, and now it's basically covers 0 to the field. I like my chances to create a big play there, and they do. See the quarterback's eyes here. Yeah, just a nice little baby look off there by the quarterback just to get 25 to flip his hips back to the boundary. Okay, really nice job there. Something we always talked about, and I don't know how difficult this is obviously they don't read your eyes in the secondary, they read your face mask. So your face mask can be one way, but your eyes could be the other. I think it's something I would look more into talking about with my quarterbacks. I don't know how feasible this is. What I respect about this play, right, is this is an obvious 5 situation. They want you to 5 this defensively, and they're going to bring 22 on your back, and they're going to twist. What I like here, they don't just blindly 5 it like most offenses would, like we would have done, like 99% of offenses would do. They actually think about this and don't fall into the trap. And they end up just full sliding this, which I appreciate because 7 looks light. I can put my running back on 7, and now I can pick up all this game bullshit that happens. Instead of having 5 one-on-ones, right, and then my back on 22 and then picking up twists. All right, let's think. What do they want us to do? Let's not just fall instantly into that trap. Now, 2, the looper ends up coming late. You're hoping in a full slide situation ends up just being more of like a shit show in here, and it gets wadded up. He gets through, but it does take a while. Right, and what they're trying to do here is get you out, and then put 2 on the back. Right, pretty classic pressure. But I appreciate these guys actually thinking, hey, let's not just blindly 5 this. Let's maybe full slide it. 7 looks like a little boy. Yeah, he obviously doesn't want to rush. He's not a rusher, right? He's got the man. He's man on the back, it looks like. Outside zone again. A little bit different. Good speed, though. Here's some, like, look how different that is than what they normally do. I think if you do this just enough, man, enough to make a 4-eye, a little bit hesitant. Now we reach a 4-eye. Look, he's playing technique into you. You reach him, and now the ball can come backside. I think this would help them immensely. I assume this is like a 3-2 ID, right? So we're here. We're going to lock the box. We're going to try to get through. You cut off. We're going to leave him. And now I'm doubling the edge player, right, to support. I'm not in the meetings. Don't know that's what they're doing. Okay, but 72 be a little bit wider. Use hands. We'd like to maybe pillar to get through this thing if we can. I hate the freaking skip pulls. Man, it's just so much slower. But this alone, I think, helps the run game so much because now you do this a couple times, and now you're on counter back this way, right? This 4-eye doesn't get reached. And now the 4-eye is playing over here, right? It makes this quote-unquote down block on counter, on inside zone, on anything back this way so much easier than him just playing just straight into you and choking you. Then we go back to true blue. Just everybody grr, everybody grunt. Everybody just go vertical and just see what happens. Man, it's just so hard. You have 4 1-on-1s the way they're blocking it. I know he's comboing, but not really. You have 4 just man blocks. I mean, this is just man on man. This is like like 1700s. Everybody line up on the battlefield, charge each other on the 3. Football. That is just hard to survive against equal talent. That's why Georgia's, those worlds, that's why they get pretty beat up in the run game against those teams. They are worse in relation to other teams against, how do I say this? In the conference stats, right? So if you just look at all games, they're always going to be like top 4 in rushing in SEC. When they play conference opponents, they are worse in relation to that than other teams. So they go to like somewhere between 4th and 8th the last 4 years in conference games, yards per carry, right? So they beat up bad teams and they're relatively worse against good teams, if that makes sense. They're better against bad teams and worse against worse teams. No, I said it backwards. They are better against worse teams than most. They are worse against better teams than most. There you go. The 5th time's a charm. I just think the style which they're trying to block. Same thing here, right? Now, if you can just cut it off the backside edge, it doesn't matter. I put these on here. These are 2, how much I shit on it, 2 great vertical combos. These are like 2 teach tapes. Now, they're short in the box, so the ball rolls off the edge and it's easy. But these 2 combos here, so I really like this one especially. Right, you get a lot more movement here, I think, a lot more speed. These are 2 just perfect if you want to live in that vertical combo world. It doesn't get much better than those 2. I just think if you want to get movement, look at the base. I know people talk about playing with a base. I don't think you can move a human being. I like try to push a car. I don't roll my hips when I try to push like a pallet at work, right? I don't get really wide and roll my hips and all that stuff when I have to push a really heavy pallet. I look much more like this. I have tilt to me. My feet are close together, right? That's what it looks like. And maybe you get thrown off. But I look much more like that, pushing something heavy, than I do like this. My feet aren't wide. I'm not, quote unquote, rolling my hips. I'm not double undering. I'm not doing all that stuff. This is a beautiful, I think it's my last play. Doesn't get much better counter than this. Freaking beautiful. Right, so let's look first at the tight end here. The little bluff, right? The guy getting cut off on zones, all sorts of stuff. That little bluff cut off and then arc for support. I could go kick out that guy. Right, you have a lovely combo, right? Because the 3 slants for you, thank you. 7, he's not shuffling, he's not galloping in, he's getting some speed. Okay, he's got pinned. The front side number, right, ends up being a down block. Second tight end, or I'm sorry, the tight end, the wrapper kicking out. That's what we want. Okay, when we clear the hash, the ball's on the hash. I want to clear the hash on my down block. I want to create a wall that way on that side of the hash with my downs. My kickouts, I want to create a wall that side, right? And the ball should be running if the ball's on hash right up the hash. Beautiful counter. Does not get much prettier than that.